Yo, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another one of the new weapons. And this time we have a very special one because we have a brand new rocket sidearm. And the rocket sidearms being as good as they are, it's very exciting every time that we see a new one. It's the brand new rocket sidearm that's going to be directly competing with the Hammer in Action, since this one is also solar. And I gotta say, it definitely puts up quite a good fight, having some very similar perks to the Hammer in Action, even being able to also get the heel clip incandescent combo, but also some other perks that the Hammer in Action cannot get. So even those of you guys that already have an Hammer in Action that you may already like, might actually want to look into this one and see if some of these new roles and roles that are just not possible in the Aberrant is something that you want, because there is some pretty good ones. And if you guys are just coming back to the game, then this thing is essentially going to be a must-have. If you don't have it, you should definitely get it. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at what are the best perks that you can get on this weapon, what are some of the unique combinations, and at the end we'll have a mini review where you talk about the things that I like, dislike, and how it compares to the Hammer in Action. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. And now let's get into it, and first, like always, we gotta talk about where to actually get this weapon. And you're gonna be able to get this weapon from the Crucible. This is just a random drop throughout the Crucible, but it definitely drops a lot more often from the featured daily Crucible mode. So whichever has like the icon of the weapon, that's the mode that you wanna do that day. And when you do in matches in that playlist, you'll have a chance of getting some of these, and they actually seem to drop quite often. The better you do, the better chance you have at actually getting them. And while I know the Crucible is really not something for everybody, I definitely think that this weapon is 100% gonna be worth it. Now this weapon comes with 3 different origin traits, 2 of them being actually new ones. The first one is the new Crucible origin trait, the Roar of Battle, being in combat for a short duration, increases handling and stability. This one's pretty much gonna be the worst of the 3, you shouldn't really use this one pretty much ever. The next one's gonna be Wildcard. Whenever you get final blows with this weapon, they have a chance of creating experimental submunitions. This one's gonna be okay, the submunitions can definitely add a bit of extra damage, but most of the time they're just way too random that I don't really find them to be worth it. Your last one's really the one that you want to run, and is Tenacity. When targets are nearby, final blows grant this weapon increased damage, reload speed and handling onto the wielder's dead. So as long as you're not dying with this weapon, you're constantly going to be stacking this with final blows. And when it's fully stacked at 20 stacks, it is a free 10% damage increase. And with an origin trait like this one, you can see it's not even a contest. The extra damage on itself would be good enough for already this thing to be the best origin trait, but on top of it, it also gives you reload speed and handling, just making the weapon just so much better, and you should just always put this on. But now let's move on and let's actually take a look at the most important part of this weapon, the trait perks. Now we're not going to really go in depth into every single perk, we're going to have a quick overview of all of them, and then we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the best ones, since I know that's what you guys are looking for anyways. And after the perks, we'll have some god suggestions, so if that's what you guys are looking for, they'll be right after. But now let's get into it, and first let's start off with the very first trait perk. Now these are the options that we have for the very first perk slot. We have Beacon Rounds, Impromptu Ammunition, Heel Clip, Impulse Amplifier, Lead from Gold, and lastly, Blast Distributor. And to be completely honest, all of these seem like they'll be half decent perks. There's nothing here that I would say is just like a dead perk that I would never ever use. But there's definitely some better ones than others, and let's start with the one that you guys are immediately wondering about. This has Heal Clip, meaning that every time that you get a kill and reload, it's gonna heal you. This thing is great for survivability. The Heal Clip Kill Clip combo is iconic for a reason on the solar weapons, and with a rocket sidearm it's even better because you can usually like 1 or 2 shot enemies, meaning that you're constantly proccing that Heal Clip. This is gonna keep you alive in any sort of situation, endgame content, just regular content, doesn't matter what you're doing, you're always going to be healing with Heal Clip and always staying healthy. Now another one that I saw here that I was actually really excited about, especially with the ammo changes, is Lead from Gold. This is going to give your weapon more ammo because every time that you pick up a heavy brick, you also get some extra special. So whenever you pick up your heavy and your special, it's like you're getting 2 special bricks instead of just the 1. So this one I think is going to be really good because it's just extra ammo. You get to use the weapon a lot more often, and even with the new changes, you'll still be able to spam the weapon quite a lot thanks to that extra ammo you're going to be getting every time you pick up those heavy bricks. But this is not the only perk that's going to improve your ammo economy, since we also have one of the new perks, Impromptu Ammunition. This is going to give you increased ammo meter after you get a final blow with this weapon. And at first, it didn't sound like that great until I realized that this increases the ammo meter from all sources. So even if you're not getting kills with this sidearm specifically, let's say you just get a kill, proc the perk, and then switch over to your other weapon, that weapon is still going to give you that increased meter just because of the way this perk works. And that also includes abilities, so it actually ended up being a lot more helpful than I expected. So I think that this one's a pretty good choice as well. Maybe not your top choice, I don't think it's like heal clip level, but it definitely can be good, especially when you spam your weapon as much as you can, or to help you with your other weapons and their meters as well, like your heavy ammo meter. You also have impulse amplifier for velocity and reload speed, that can be pretty okay. And then the last one is blast distributor. Whenever you deal damage with this weapon, it grants a bonus to grenade stat. And while the bonus is not super huge, it is still going to give you a bit of extra grenade stat. So if you're on a build that relies a lot on your grenade stat, or you want to just maximize the grenade stat as much as you can, this is something that you can run on the weapon. Especially because it usually requires damage, it doesn't even require kills, so you can proc this on pretty much any big enemy. So there's definitely a lot of good and solid perks in this slot right here. Now these are the options we're going to have for the second perk. We have a Dodgeo, Desperate Measures, Burning Ambition, Incandescent, One for All, and the first ever time we see redirection on one of these rocket sidearms. But let's start off with the solar ones first, because I know that's what you guys are interested in. So first of all, Incandescent. Incandescent is great, more at clear. It is the other half of the heal clip Incandescent combo. It's just an amazing perk that adds even more to this weapon by giving it some Scorch as well as that big explosion doing some ad clear. Now we also have the new solar perk, Burning Ambition. This perk is going to give you a way of applying Scorch while at the same time also triggering ignitions without requiring any kills. Just with the weapon, you're shooting an enemy, you'll be able to trigger ignitions. So there is definitely some value to that, but it will take a lot of like ammo, so you most of the time don't see those ignitions. Most things are probably gonna die by the time that you're getting close to actually hitting the ignition. The only things that won't are like mini bosses and champions. So because of that, I wouldn't really recommend it on this unless you're already on a solar build and you're looking for some synergy there. But it just takes way too long for the ignition to actually trigger. That, like I said, most things are usually dead. With the smaller ads, you're most of the time never gonna trigger this. And then we have a couple of interesting damage perks. We have One for All, we have Redirection, and we also have Desperate Measures. But I would say out of these ones, the best ones are definitely going to be One for All or Redirection. Redirection is a fantastic perk, and it basically gives you damage when you need it, when you're fighting those bigger enemies. By killing some smaller enemies, it makes dealing with the bigger enemies easier. It's a fantastic perk, and ever since it got buffed, it is an amazing perk on special weapons. So I definitely recommend it for this, especially in more endgame activities or any activities that have champions. But One for All is also going to be really good because just how easy it is to proc. All you have to do is hit 3 enemies, and because that damage buff is huge at 35%. And even though you can proc it again, well, you already have the perk, it is just so easy to proc that the uptime on One for All I feel is like huge, especially with a explosive weapon like this one where you can hit multiple enemies with just one shot. You could definitely proc One for All just even easier. So you also have quite a few choices for this perk as well. But now let's move on and let's talk about those god rules. Now to start off the god rules, we're gonna have heal clip Incandescent. You have the healing, you have the ad clear. It's gonna be an amazing role, and if you missed out on the aberrant action, this is the role that you should be aiming for sure. Because even if this is not gonna be your main role, it's always just nice to have. The great thing about heal clip is that it can pair up itself with pretty much any other perk in the other slot and still be pretty good, since having more health after a reload is just universally good. Another role that you can go for is Lead from Gold plus Incandescent. You keep the extra ad clear and the Scorching from Incandescent, while at the same time having some more ammo drops thanks to Lead from Gold. So if you were trying to use the weapon a lot more and not run into any ammo issues, this could be like a role that you go for. Same with Impromptu plus Incandescent. Both of those are going to work pretty similarly, just increasing the amount of ammo you can actually run on the weapon. So just keep in mind that you either want to increase your ammo or have heal clip for the constant heals, and as long as you have that in your first perk, you can really pair it up with anything on the second. Especially since you have so many good perks in the second slot, you can make tons of combinations. And now let's talk a little about the weapon, and this is gonna be pretty short because this is an amazing rocket sidearm. It is essentially the Avar in Action 2. So just because of that and because of how good the Avar in Action already is, it just automatically makes this weapon, again, just really good. And it being in the Crucible playlist means that just by playing a couple matches, we can actually get a couple of these. Sometimes you even get more than one of these per game, so it seems to drop quite often. So I definitely recommend that you go out there and grab a return memory. Like I said, whether you're somebody that already has an Avar in Action, whether you're somebody that's just coming back to the game and needs a sort of rocket sidearm, it's going to be a fantastic weapon that you definitely want to have in your inventory. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, hopefully you guys like it. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this weapon? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? What role are you going to be going for on this thing? Are you going for a similar role as the Avar in Action? Or are you going to be messing around with some of those new perks like Redirection and Burning Ambition? Let me know that in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, thank you all for stopping by. The support on the videos has been amazing lately, so thank you all. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care everyone, have a good rest of your day. Peace.